Bozeman, and this is Confessions of an SEO. And these episodes are short because I get to share my stories. Welcome to episode 43 of Confessions of an SEO. Man, what a day. Now, I'm still in Monday. You may be listening to this on Tuesday, but I'm still in Monday. First off, I think I gave a really good presentation, probably the best one I've ever done in terms of conveying exactly how helpful content works, or more precisely, how unhelpful content works. You know, I see what I see, and what I see conforms to the letter of what we know about this system of rules on content. You know, that it's domain wide. It's not just page specific. So if you're a one-note Nelly when it comes to content and repeatedly answering the same question with your content, things are not going to be well for you in the SERPs. Get a newsletter going, build your list, because Google Organic is going to be unfriendly. So diversify before it is too late. Oh, and the next bit of good news, if you're looking for more, is Google just announced we're in a core update in November. Prime Black Friday territory for many online commerce outfits. You know, those who've been working their way through the year just to get to this point as unscathed as possible so that they can make sales. You know, as a business person, I'm sorry this is happening right now. As a data person, I couldn't be more excited, because just this morning I remarked to my business partner about what was going on in the server logs, and it kind of didn't make sense unless Google was gearing up to rescore all the content in the index. So I guess it doesn't suck to be right, at least about the data, and I promise, Scout's honor, I will tone that down if you're talking with me. I tend to reserve all of this kind of detail for my crawl or no crawl indexation group. But I'm going to be going through the last couple of weeks of server logs and figuring some way to properly document this time period in a way where I can use it as reference. A reminder, you might say, because this pattern of the indexation system, which you know is a bunch of subsystems, this piques my curiosity even more about indexation and Google and how they all interrelate. And I guess, you know, who thought it was possible to get more excited about this in my life? But Google, really? You picked this time of the year to clean up figuratively and financially? You know, you figure now all the antitrust efforts no longer matter? You know, I love the game of SEO, but right now, at this moment, now I kind of hope AI crushes you and your paid ad network. You know, you make it so easy to hate what you're doing. So while we wait, cue the weeping, cue the wailing. You know, I just don't know what to say when these things actually happen like clockwork every November. I wanted to get you up to date on the testing around the helpful content system. You know, does it read our words like some claim, without evidence, by the way, that it does? So here's the thing. When you launch a site that is a combination of optimizations, like your keywords sprinkled throughout lorem ipsum, you're proving my point. You know, if optimizations or topical work is not what helpful content judges, then logically it would be the words in between the topical vectors. So tell me, how in the world is lorem ipsum helpful? You know, we're talking placeholder content. You know, it's like, it's helpful. So those who are publishing or rerunning Kyle Roof's tests, you know, those that get it, that Google doesn't read, they don't seem to be able to see what's right under their noses. Neither does the helpful content system or the rules or or whatever you want to call it now that it's wired into the core algorithm. It's likely a collection of systems and filters to bring us the broken SERP we all know and love. I'm only putting a point on this because when I came out at the end of April to say helpful content isn't what we think, it's topical, and it's topical on a domain level. Some got it, but the people who really need to get this, the ones who are suffering a little bit by not understanding this, not those folks. So that's why I thought, well, let's approach it from a different direction. Helpful content rules find helpful content that has nothing to do with our topical optimizations. So basically, I'm running a Kyle Roof lorem ipsum test site with a different hypothesis. And I'm finding 1, all the pages are indexed. 2, the site ranks in the top 12 for the query rhinoplasticity. So if helpful content was about the words in between our optimizations, the page vectors where we place keywords and variants and entities and all the related terms. Well, if it's not looking at those and it's only looking at the words in between, then it would have found 0 helpful content in the lorem ipsum words. Now, it doesn't take ranking in the number 1 position to discern if Google is finding this content unhelpful. If it was reading the words between the keywords, and if it was tuned to look for helpful content, there is no way in this mathematical software world where it would come to the conclusion that lorem ipsum content was helpful. But you know what it is? It's just not unhelpful. Which in a roundabout way kind of proves my validated theory that helpful content is a topical measurement, not just of the page itself that we're trying to rank higher, but of the collection of all the pages on the site. And you know what I think? I think it's not that Google found lorem ipsum helpful, because this test basically confirms that lorem ipsum is not unhelpful. It's like the difference between playing not to lose or playing to win. Both are playing, but the intention is different. If you're curious about more of the research on helpful content, remember I have published that on Gumroad, and I'm getting more and more requests for putting together a training, how to identify unhelpful content, because that's all there is, folks. If you're looking for helpful content, you will never find it. Okay, now for the recurring segment, where is this test now? Where I get into the nitty-gritty of what's going on. All right, so as a tester, you can't just run one test and call it a day. So I have 2 more sites launching as you're listening to this. Now, each city has approximately 20 searches a month, so that's something. One city is less than 80,000 in population, and the other is just over 500,000. By the way, and just for those, I guess, ranking purists, I'm not even trying to push this content to number 1, because that would require an investment of backlinks, and ranking in the top 3 is not in the budget for this testing, and it's definitely out of the scope. So this time, as I'm launching, I'm definitely checking that discourage search engines box in WordPress. I have developed a checklist of all the things that I would have done differently, looking at the launch of the initial test. So these 2 will launch together at the same time. And again, I will rely on IndexZilla to get the ball rolling with getting this content indexed and served. So what about this update and launching these new tests? I'm not going to lie. While I did have a core update on my bingo card, I'm not entirely sure how launching a whole new couple of sites into a core update is going to go. I've launched individual pages to test indexation, but a whole site in helpful content era, well, all by myself. This may be a way, I think, to either advise on how to do it or how not to do it. Either way, we'll both get something out of it. Now, if you'd like to be in on the testing of the indexation platform, join Crawl or No Crawl on Substack. When the next report comes out, you'll be able to see a link to the Google form to let me know you're interested. Best of all, you get an indexer, and all of it will be on my dime during the test phase. I'm going to be looking for feedback and also just, using it to confirm when Google's index is open. And IndexZilla is getting content indexed. So step in while you can do it and try it out. That's it for me this week. If you need help with your site, you're not sure where to dig, text me. My specialty is forensic SEO, where I find weaknesses in sites, bring solutions to strengthen them, and create more success for you. So to stay on the cutting edge of the state of the indexation system, as well as first access to the new indexer on the market, which is not based on what is now the non-working indexing API. You would like to check out Crawl or No Crawl on Substack. This is something that you'd like to try. Thank you for being a listener. Thank you for being a sponsor. If you have any questions or topical ideas, I really would like to hear from you. I'm going to talk about helpful content, I guess, as long as it floats my boat. But if you'd like to hear something different, you can let me know. You can text me at 512-222-3132. Thanks again, and until next week, I'll see you in the SERPs.